like Albedo's back and he's waiting for us on Dragonspine. No time to waste! Let's get going!
Pie. That's what I'll make tonight. Can't you give me a better price?
So this is the other Durin, huh? If this had been the dragon that ended up being revived in Mondstadt, there's no telling what kind of calamity that people would have had to endure. So, if you think about it like that, Durin's actually a hero. No, I'm just a little envious, that's all. Not everyone gets a chance to be a hero.
Actually, most of the credit belongs to Albedo.
Then again, barely anyone even remembers you at this point. So I guess there's not much left to envy.
Ah, so you three still remember Durin. Looks like the memory loss hasn't spread to close friends. Yet. I guess that means my memory of you must still be complete as well.
Albedo.
You're finally here! Oh, boy, do we have a whole pile of questions for you!
Oh, you're here too.
I think I've pieced together some of what happened to him. But what's your take on things?
Master Jean filled me in on what happened, and I've got a few theories. But let's get on the same page first. Well, physically, he's doing fine. His body is holding the abyssal power at bay. And there's nothing whatsoever to indicate any risk of collapse.
So, from an alchemy point of view, there's nothing wrong with him?
The issue isn't so much that the abyssal power within him has gotten out of control. It's that the connection between his will and body is fading. If he ends up losing his conscious will, his body will fall back on its biological instincts. And that's when the abyssal power within it will take over. This book mentioned a witches' gathering. It seems like quite a few of these witches got themselves involved in Durin's case. Which brings me to my theory. Bringing Fairy Tale Durin into this world to replace the Durin on Dragonspine means using one Durin's fate to overwrite the others. But the power of alchemy alone would not be enough to pull off such a feat. It would have required the combined use of Miss Barbeloff's astrology, my teacher's alchemy, and Aunt Alice's magic. After learning of Miss Barbeloff's prophecy, Durin and I finally came up with a way to settle the Dragonspine Durin problem for good. And I took care of the alchemy side of things, which, looking back on it, seems to have been a part of their plan all along. So now, there's only one thing missing. As for the fate theory our friend in the hat just mentioned, I still can't figure out how any kind of magic could possibly influence the fate of Tevat. But I'm certain that the answer lies within this book.
So, the reason Alice had us complete this book was to make that magic possible?
A form of magic powerful enough to rewrite fate itself.
Well, we've no time to lose. I just need to take a look at the book. The next part of the story most likely relates to me. So the memory that unlocks it must be connected to me too.
Huh?
The giant tree was home to a broken branch, the shape of its splintered arm aligning perfectly with the branch that had burst forth from the castle walls. Join yourself to that broken bough, for there you may take root at last, and henceforth bask in the sun and rain of the world beyond the castle. But first, fetch the stickiest clay and let it bind the scar of the break.
I see.
Guided by the breeze, the little dragon arrived at an alchemist's workshop. There he was greeted by a clay figure, a child molded by the sage witch's hands. Though gentle in appearance, he had inherited his mother's cold, sharp wisdom. And he was determined to avert the calamity the evil dragon would bring. And so was his helper, none other than the little dragon himself.
What is this place?
It looks like it's modeled after an alchemist's workshop. Or rather, a cliched stereotype of one.
Albedo?
Hold on. Why do I look like this?
Oh, yeah! We forgot to tell you. Basically, the characters in the story are reflections of how Durin sees them.
At least you're still human-shaped?
Well, since Cat Guy has taken on a different appearance too, that must mean the two of us are both characters in the story. But you, Paimon, and Durin haven't changed at all. You must be special figures in some way.
I'd like to know more about that too. But seeing as none of them can explain it, let's just concentrate on moving the plot forward.
And just like that, the group stumbled upon a hidden passageway. Intricately crafted, it seemed to lead them towards another exciting chapter of the tale.
Come on! What are we waiting for? Next chapter? Here we come! Ouch!
But this was a chapter that had not yet been written. Ahead of them was a storyless void, and they could go no further.
What? Then what's the point of having a path here? Sounds like a pretty bad habit for a writer.
Over here. I found something.
What the clay figure found was none other than the evil dragon's heart itself. Though the creature had perished long ago, its heart was still there, pulsing away and growing warmer with every beat. And the clay alchemist knew what it meant. That the evil dragon would return one day, just as the prophecy had foretold. Yet, guided by his mother's wisdom, he foresaw another fate. If only the alchemist could bestow this heart upon the little dragon, he might be reborn in the evil dragon's stead. Only then would the evil dragon's heart grow still, and the little one inherit its tale.
Sounds like this chapter is about Albedo bringing me to life?
If that really was the solution, though, this would have been over the minute I finished the transmutation. So why is Durin still being forgotten?
There has to be some other reason.
Yeah, I'd like to explore the area a bit more.
Unless the little dragon kept moving, eventually he would be forgotten.
Do you think we could just destroy it? Be it the calamity headed for Mondstadt or my inability to leave behind a story of my own, doesn't it all come down to the fact that this heart never truly died? What if, here in this story, we could finally destroy it?
Could Aunt Alice's magic really allow us to do what's theoretically meant to be impossible?
Either way, it's an intriguing idea. I'm not opposed to giving it a shot.
Durin!
It's just... I'm still afraid someday, even you guys will end up forgetting me. If there's even the slightest chance it'll prevent that, I'm willing to try anything. But I'm not sure if I can destroy it on my own. Chances are, I'm gonna need your help again. So please, everyone, help me destroy this heart, once and for all!
With the help of his friends, the little dragon destroyed the evil dragon's heart, using up every last ounce of his strength. In his eyes, this would ensure that his story and his alone remained in the world beyond the castle's walls. But the evil dragon's heart was like a great tree with roots digging deep beneath the surface. Cutting off the branches did not kill it. No, it just made it impossible for a new branch to take their place. The gnarled roots retreated back into the frozen earth, biding their time for a chance to bud again. Cut off from their source, the rootless branches above the surface slowly withered away. The little dragon story faded into nothingness, and in the world beyond the castle, only the evil dragon's tale endured.
Who am I?
Is this... me?
And so the story ended, with the little dragon fading from sight, leaving nothing but the evil dragon's shadow in his place.
Oh no! That means Durin! What do we do now?
Hello, children. If you're hearing this recording, it's because you've reached a certain ending. You may have noticed that little Durin's experiences have been written into the pages of this book. Well, you should know that in the same way, its ending will also be written onto him. So be careful, because triggering a bad ending could be somewhat problematic. Let me guess, you're upset that I didn't warn you earlier? Don't worry though, I've thought it all through. I built a very special feature into this book, just for you, the witnesses of this tale. So, go ahead, see if you can turn back the pages. If you're not happy with the ending you've reached, just flip back a few pages and let the tale unfold once more. Pretty incredible, huh? That's the power of magic.
Unless the little dragon kept moving, eventually he would be forgotten. The evil dragon's heart continued to beat, as if waiting for the little dragon to accept it as his own.
Looks like we have no choice but to get this done. Whatever happens next, Durin is going to need all of our help. Is everyone ready?
There you are.
Oh, hello there.
Hey, it's Mini Durin again! What are you doing holed up in here?
I was worried I'd scare everyone off, so I've been hiding out here all this time.
You must be really nervous, huh?
I guess I am a little nervous, but I'm also excited. I'm gonna get to stop the evil dragon and even become a human. It's all thanks to that clay man. He's the one who talked me into it. And once I'm a human, I'll be able to make loads of friends and do tons of important things.
You'll make lots of friends, that's for sure. And go on many unforgettable adventures.
I'm so glad to hear it. The only thing is, the clay man said becoming human isn't gonna be easy. So I'm feeling a little anxious too.
He's right about that. Even if you manage to become a human, there will always be tougher challenges on the road ahead.
Really?
But even so, your friends will be there to help you.
Oh? Then I'm not afraid.
Funny, isn't it? After talking to you, I'm not afraid anymore either. So, are you ready now?
Yep, I'm ready to become a human.
What the clay figure found was none other than the evil dragon's heart itself. Though the creature had perished long ago, its heart was still there, pulsing away and growing warmer with every beat. And the clay alchemist knew what it meant. That the evil dragon would return one day, just as the prophecy had foretold. Yet, guided by his mother's wisdom, he foresaw another fate. If only the alchemist could bestow this heart upon the little dragon, he might be reborn in the evil dragon's stead. Only then would the evil dragon's heart grow still, and the little one inherit its tale. At last, the little dragon accepted the evil dragon's heart, and a new life came into being. The evil dragon's heart beat in his chest, and the little dragon's soul guided him forward. Thus did the prophecy hold true, even as fate had been rewritten, and so was the little dragon born anew.
Finally, a happy ending! That must be the last step, right? Woohoo! We completed the story!
Born anew, the little dragon set off once more, his story far from over.
Huh? So, that wasn't the end?
What comes next might be the most crucial part of all. The real last step.
If fate really is as devious as they say, then I say, show us what you've got.
Wow! You're all so serious all of a sudden. Durin, are you alright?
The evil dragon's heart was now one with the little dragon, yet the dark power within it still lingered. Would the little dragon dare to hold this power back, or would he simply give in?
Hey, what kind of question is that? Of course he's gonna control it. What choice does he have?
Time is running out. So, would the little dragon dare to hold this power back? Or would he simply give in?
What's up with the narrator?
Would he dare to hold this power map? Or would he simply give in?
Ahead of them was a storyless void.
Would he dare to hold this power map? Or would he simply give?
The little dragon and his companions. Blank. Blank again.
Huh? What's going on? Are we running out of ink?
Once the ink runs out, is that the end of the story?
I had a feeling this would happen.
What's happening to the others?
Now that the story's ink was spent, all that lay ahead were blank pages.
Looks like you've discovered another possible ending. Do not lose hope. You just need to keep searching, for there are possibilities that only you can bring to life.
Would he dare to hold this power map? Or would he simply give in?
Returning to the castle. I just never thought crossing over into a new world would create so much trouble. All I wanted was to make some friends. I'm starting to think I kinda miss being in Simulanka.
You might look back on it with fondness, but if I were you, I wouldn't miss it.
Why?
Sometimes, moving on with your life comes at a cost. But that's better than going nowhere at all.
You don't have to worry, Durin. No matter what problem you face, there will always be a solution.
Okay. Sometimes I wish I could just go back and see it again.
As the little dragon slipped back inside the castle's walls, the clamor of the outside world fell away. There was no danger here, no problems for the little dragon to resolve. As soon as his mother finished her story, it was time for the child to drift off into the world of dreams. And so the story ended, with the little dragon fast asleep in his castle, just like he had never even hatched.
What's going on? I feel so weak.
Hey, what's happening? Durin, wake up! But this can't be how it ends. Durin promised to bring back everyone's memories. There's no way he'd accept an ending like this.
Looks like you've discovered another possible ending. Do not lose hope. You just need to keep searching, for there are possibilities that only you can bring to life.
Would he dare to hold this power map? Or would he simply give in? Would he dare to hold this power map? Or would he simply give in?
The little dragon was at an impasse, and the dark power within him surged like a tide. Unchecked, the darkness engulfed everything around it, including the little dragon's soul. The little dragon's story faded into nothingness, and in the world beyond the castle, only the evil dragon's tale endured.
Is this me?
And so the story ended, with the little dragon fading from sight, leaving nothing but the evil dragon's shadow in his place.
Oh no! That means Durin... What do we do now?
Looks like you've discovered another possible ending. Do not lose hope. You just need to keep searching, for there are possibilities that only you can bring to life.
What's going on here? Why isn't the story letting Durin just suppress the abyssal power? It keeps getting stuck.
It seems the act of suppressing the power counts as an event in the story. In other words, we would need ink to write it in.
So, what now? Did we use too much earlier? How are we supposed to write a happy ending with only this much left? But...
Well, this is Durin's story. As long as he's alive and well, why should it end?
If there really is such a direct correlation between the story and his fate, I may have a potential hypothesis. Durin was, and still is in essence, a storybook character, written into being by M. From the moment he was born, he has always dwelt within her story, and I suspect it has remained the case, even after his arrival in Tevat. Reviving Durin in the evil dragon's place was an act of grafting this Durin story onto the latter's fate. In essence, that is how his fate was rewritten. But there is a fundamental difference between a being's story and its fate. As Miss Barbeloth reminded us, the fate of every living being in Tevat has been woven into the fabric of time. Its most natural path, therefore, is to proceed along its given track. But Durin's story, on the other hand... As Durin's connection to this world wore thin, not only have people started to forget him, he started to lose control of the abyssal power within. In other words, his story can't continue, because the author's ink is drying up. That's what it seems like to me.
It would seem the little dragon had made a group of fine friends indeed.
Save it. The question is, are you here to help him, or stand in his way?
This is as far as the story can go. What path will you choose?
I suppose the final decision is up to me. It's hard to believe I never actually left my mother's story. If that's true, I'd like to go there and see for myself.
By there, I take it you mean the blank pages of the unwritten chapter ahead?
But we still don't even know how Alice's magic works. If Durin belongs inside the story, then going outside of it to some unwritten part, isn't it too risky?
I'm not afraid.
I second that. It would seem this is one answer you need to go seize for yourself.
So be it. Whatever obstacles stand in your way, we'll tear them down together.
That invisible wall. It was as if the little dragon was staring at the uncrossable edge of existence itself. All of a sudden, it began to fracture, as if struck by some transcendent will.
Gotta keep going.
Ahead lies only a storyless void.
My consciousness is slipping away.
Keep going, Durin. A pure soul is your essence, not an empty void.
I feel so weak.
Stand tall, Durin. You are not some amorphous idea. The body I made for you is flesh and bone.
Am I truly alive?
Yes, Durin, but you must keep going. You're as alive and real as I am.
I can't feel a connection.
You're not alone in this world, Durin. At the very least, you have me.
I can't remember anything. Who am I?
Your name is Durin, and there are many who still remember it.
My name is Durin.
You're taking too long. Come on, Durin, run! In this world, fate waits for no one.
Wait! Where am I meant to go? What am I supposed to do?
Go make your wish come true, Durin.
My wish?
Your story's not over yet.
Silence, huh? Have you nothing to say about my proposal?
Let me get this straight. You want to graft your story onto this unfinished thread of fate, and in doing so, not only rewrite that fate, but allow the story to live on.
Quite the brilliant idea. Still, the story's survival depends entirely on whether the author keeps writing.
Exactly. And the moment foretold by the prophecy is still centuries away.
I see. I thought my own ignorance might be the problem. That I'd asked more of the noble science of alchemy than it could ever deliver. Or that I had failed to discern the heavenly signs and grasp the secret truth underlying the prophecy. Little did I imagine that time itself would prove to be the greatest hurdle of all.
Well, my friend, this has been a most intriguing experiment. And from an academic perspective, at least, I don't think it was a bad proposal.
Someday, the prophecy will come to pass. So remember, my friend, much like the stars themselves, there will always be something that transcends the test of time.
Thank you, everyone. You've helped me so much already. But, Alice, I still have one final favor to ask of you. Will you lend me your magic one last time, just enough for me to keep his story alive until the prophecy is fulfilled?
You mean you want me to Extend your lifespan.
No, not in that sense. As Rheindotter once told me, the laws governing life and death are among the most unyielding in this world. I'm well aware of that. Whether it lasts a day or an age, the span of one's life is determined by fate alone. If I tried to breach that law by force, I'm afraid I would lose what makes me human. This is not a path I want to go down. If I am to die, then I shall die a human.
So what is it that you want me to do?
I would like you to send this pen of mine into the future.
I see. Then perhaps there really is a way I can help. I could create a kind of story magic to take over the writing once you're gone. Oh, but for it to work, you would need to provide enough of your own words for it to learn from.
How much?
Oh, an immense amount. So much, in fact, that you would have to spend the rest of your life writing. And even then, I'm sorry to say, it would not last forever. No matter how much you write, there is a limit to the number of words you can leave behind. But the world itself will never stop changing. Someday, perhaps, even your entire corpus will not be enough for the magic to continue describing this world. And when that happens, the story will end.
Still, it's worth a try.
Oh, my dear Anya. Even after all this time, you're still... Look at you. You should be enjoying your old age in peace and quiet, especially now that things are finally returning to normal after that terrible calamity.
Once he leaves Simulanka, things will only get more complicated. If his story is to continue, there needs to be more material for the magic to draw upon. I'll just have to skip over some of the less important details.
Anya, why do you insist on sending him out of the storybook world? Why must he face his fate into that? Why not just let him remain within the story? With my magic, even fate's curse could be undone and he could live happily ever after.
I suppose. In fairy tales, all it takes is a heartfelt wish. And even a wooden puppet can turn himself into a real boy and live happily ever after. That's just how fairy tales end, isn't it? But have you ever wondered what happens to the main character after the ever after? Tell me, Alice, in your eyes, what would be a writer's greatest regret?
To leave a story without an ending.
Not a bad answer. It's true, many writers come to consider that their greatest regret. But I see things differently. My greatest regret is that every story I write has to come to an end in the first place.
Anya.
No matter how brilliantly a character shines, the moment their story ends, their potential is lost forever. For them, the story itself becomes an inescapable fate. But what if, instead, I could place my pen in their hand and let them continue the story themselves?
You mean...
You said it yourself. I can only leave so many words behind. Even with your magic, the idea that I could keep the story going until the prophecy comes to pass is wishful thinking at best. But I've found a way to use your magic to transform some of my finished stories into a special kind of ink. This ink is a magical medium he can use to complete the story the way he wants to. For what is storytelling but another kind of magic? And if he can experience the whole tale himself while leaving behind his own wishes and aspirations, even once he reaches the chapter where I stopped, he'll still be able to carry the story forward on his own. And so, by leaving him this ink, I can entrust him with the responsibility of writing his own story.
A character with the power to write their own story.
That way, he'll finally be free from the cage that is my pen. And like anyone else living in the real world, he can go on to create a life of his own.
And you no longer need to worry about the constraints of my magic. What a brilliant idea, Anya. But there are still risks. First of all, once he arrives in Teyvat, he'll have to rely entirely on the story you left him to maintain his connection to that world. As you gradually hand over creative control, that connection will grow weaker, and at some point, he might lose it altogether.
But at the same time, he'll also have the chance to forge that connection for himself.
The issue is, this method taps into too many of Teyvat's core secrets. Any overt hints you try to leave will be erased in no time. In fact, it'd be hard for you to leave anything at all to guide them.
We still have the story itself, though. I can use that to show them the way.
It's entirely possible he burns through all your ink, never reaches the chapter you had in mind, and gets stuck, roaming the chapters of his past. But despite all that,
I still believe in what this child can become. His hopes and wishes can be his ink, so he won't be trapped by mine running dry.
Oh, what the writer you are, Anya. Your imagination never ceases to amaze. And you do know how much I love a happy ending. You shall have my help, my dear.
Thank you, my friend. Well then, my child, do you understand what you must do?
Yes, I think I do. It's my turn to keep this story alive.
Then what's holding you back?
What will become of you after I take up this pen?
I will fade away. There will no longer be a reason for me to go on existing. My child, or your mother, I should say, passed away long ago. The voice you're hearing is nothing but a magical echo that has now fulfilled its purpose. You needn't feel so reluctant to let me go.
I know my mother died long ago. It's just, when you lose your mom too soon, it's hard to tear yourself away from the stories she used to read. I guess it's a silly way of pretending she's still here, by your side.
Durin.
But after coming to this world and traveling it with my friends, facing all kinds of enemies together, I suddenly realized I couldn't just sit around listening to my mother's stories because I'd found a new purpose in life. Maybe this is just what growing up feels like. With all my new friends waiting, it's time I finally set aside my mother's storybook. I'm ready to grow up now, Mom.
Then take this. A gift I should have given you a long time ago. You've witnessed this story from the very beginning, made your wishes, offered your blessings, and even wrote your choices into its pages. From here on out, this pen is yours. Now I ask of you, the other pillar of this story, as both its reader and its witness, will you turn the page so the next chapter can begin? Suddenly, and without warning, the powers of darkness struck. The question was, could the little dragon prevail? Alas, it was here that the story witch's tale had to end.
But Durin's tale, on the other hand, had only just begun. Stepping into his mother's memories, he picked up her pen. And so the story that was ending began anew. He had made up his mind to challenge the fate that barred the way ahead.
Looks like this is the final step.
A chance to strike back at fate? Now that's not something that comes knocking every day.
No, that fate no longer defines me. In the end, only my story shall endure. Watch out! Turning point in fate!
No dodging this one. Here, I'll help lift you up.
No, not yet. Absurd! Yet only my story shall endure. Watch out! The story has only just begun!
Looks like there's nowhere to hide. Here, I'll cover for you.
Thank you, Mom. And so it was that Durin defeated the darkness and rewrote his fate. But his story is far from over. Is everyone okay?
We're fine, thanks. And hey, we all saw how you fought back there. That was awesome!
I have to admit, I do feel like something in me has changed. I owe you all so much. Without your help, I don't know if I could have ever made it this far.
Just a shame I could only help out from the sidelines. Like I said before, it's not every day that you get to put fate in its place.
Well, I'm sure you'll hear it someday.
Hear what?
The chance to strike back at fate knocking at your door.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Allow me to just check one thing. Yes. The abyssal power within you has stabilized again. And those strange symptoms you were experiencing seem to have completely disappeared.
Oh, thank goodness!
I wonder what it means, though. Aside from the principles of alchemy, what other law of this world governs his being?
Look, it all turned out fine, so just leave it at that. Now that this one's out of danger, it's time for me to get out of here.
You're leaving so soon? But don't humans usually throw a party after something like this?
A party? Do I look like that kind of guy? Anyway, come find me again next time you're in trouble. That's what friends are for, right?
In a way, though, he is right. This is Durin's moment to celebrate, not the time for academic discussions.
Hey, I don't blame you for asking. And honestly, I'd be perfectly happy to talk about it. It's just, I wouldn't even know where to start.
It's all right. I'm sure we'll get a chance at some point. After all, your story's only just begun. All right then. Traveler and Paimon, we'll part ways here. Given the extraordinary nature of the things we witnessed today, I need to make sure it's all recorded properly.
Okay, see ya! So, it's party time next? Huh?
Congratulations on completing your mission. Now then, as per our agreement, it's about time you returned that book.
She must have known the moment we finished. Just like she said she would.
I've heard dressing appropriately is a must for socializing.